Now, I started out as an accountant back in the dark ages of the year 2000. Back then, a lot of things were a lot different, especially in accountancy. Now, to put in perspective, I started out as a cadet on a sandwich year from RMIT, the Melbourne City campus, on the 1st of July 2020. My starting wage was $26,000. The process to even become an accountant or a cadet or graduate back then was pretty sketchy. Graduate programs only really existed for the big four accountancy firms, and if you didn't get top marks across all uni subjects, or if your dad or a relative wasn't already a partner, client or associate, hello, nepotism of the firm. Hey, and remember, this was the early 2000s, and the glass ceiling for women was unfortunately, it was kind of double reinforced back then. So if you didn't actually know anyone, then you weren't getting into those programs. Maybe some things don't change at all. Fair to say that I did not fit into either of those buckets or categories. There was no LinkedIn back then. There was no internships, or at least not unpaid ones, where you could get some experience. There were print CVs and cover letters, and there was work experience. Now, I had a CV of a basic teenager with basic teenage jobs like sports refereeing, night stacking, and even a month-long stint doing hardcore manual labour, but I had no accounting or office experience to lean on or to point to. I was a very, very blank canvas. If you were like me, you had to get an accountancy job the hard way. Interview, rejection. CV posted in, decline. CV posted in, just no response. Interview, you're in the last three, but sorry. For me, it came down to two possible options. Moore Stephens in the tax consulting division, and a sole practitioner suburban firm in Lilydale, an outer suburb of Melbourne. It actually wasn't like I had a choice either. The firm in Lilydale actually rejected me. Somehow I got that job at Moore Stephens, and to this day, the only reason I can think of why I got that job was because I had received a distinction in specialist tax at university, and really that was the only subject that I'd really enjoyed at uni, and I'd applied to a tax job. Then because I guess I didn't say anything stupid in the interview or anything too stupid. Now I still vividly remember sitting down with the tax partner Steve Allen in the boardroom on level 14 of 607 Burke Street, and him offering me a Diet Coke in a glass bottle from the boardroom fridge, and then telling me that I'd got the job. A very, very happy moment in my life, and one I'll never forget. And honestly, I don't know where I'd be without that Diet Coke, and of course the job offer. The main thing I take away from the process back then, albeit a long time ago, is to always apply for something that you have the skills to do. I was only really good at tax then, so I applied for the tax role as a priority and pointed that out in my cover letter. And the same thing applies when you're working with clients now. Don't promise something that you cannot deliver. All it does is break any trust that you have with the client or person or the prospective client. And that's the same trust that got them to work with you or want to work with you in the first place. Don't fake it till you make it. The other thing I learned is around personality and personalities and how that fits into making any business work well. It takes all sorts of people, even those who will just bust out popcorn in the microwave for no reason on a Thursday afternoon to share with the other staff, which may or may not have been me. Anyway, fast forward a few years and things were a little bit more structured at Moore Stephens, the way they recruited. And I was actually part of that recruitment program and the process, meaning I'd get to talk to lots and lots and lots of budding young accountants eager to get a graduate position at our firm. Now, there's lots of things to learn from that as well, but I think that might be one for another time. Now, I'm Kane Munro, and if there's anything at all, or anything else you'd like me to cover about accountancy, please drop me a line. I'd love to hear from you. And you can check out my current experience in outsourcing and what I do at my profile or at my website for my business. Until the next video, take care. I'll be back with another topic soon about accountancy.